Yo, what's up, mother pluckers?
What's really hood, fam?
Welcome to another episode of Pop Trap, and today we have a special guest. It's El Santo himself,
El Santo Sucio is.
But like two meters. I'm not gonna say meters because we have the metrics. 2 meters taller than the actual Santo.
No, he was a big man.
Really? No, he wasn't.
He was not?
No.
Well, he looks like it. He's got that grand persona, baby, and if you don't know who it is, it's Sucio. It's Sucio, a.k.a. Cerberus, a.k.a. I got dressed like ugly Jared Leto for you, Bionicle.
We can put
Stay sweet, don't change. I'm gonna put it on this.
You can put it like open it and then
there
just
we
like
go.
put it.
Bam, that's
there
lovely.
you go. There you go. We can still see the movie happening over there in the back. I don't know what movie it is. I just picked a random one.
No, you know which one it is. Today we're talking about.
They don't know what time it is.
You know what time it is, baby.
It's time to do some pop trapping. But anyways,
we missed y'all.
Well, today we're gonna talk about some Santo movies, some Blue Demon movies, some Rayo de Jalisco movies, which I think he's like in.
Look at him up there.
I think he's in a couple. I don't know if we have that, and then we have the Monillo somewhere around. But Rayo de Jalisco was my favorite growing up. Everybody loved El Santo.
Because he's the legend, baby. He's the hero. You gotta remember, El Santo is really one of the most prolific Mexican stars of all time.
Well, I think that they know once you see this mask, the silver mask. Everybody
know what it is.
Everybody knows who it is.
You know who that is.
But the first mask I ever had for a luchador, because I fell in love with lucha libre when I was a kid.
Okay.
The whole the cinco fucking the channel that looks like shit. Used to pass the triple A.
Yeah.
No, it is. It was that. Yeah, because it was like, pero, ¿quieres más? So they had the triple A matches, but my first mask that I had when I was a kid, my dad brought me this mask, was Blue Panther.
Yeah.
He kind of looked like Blue Demon, but it had like little ears and like it looked like a panther.
Yeah, little whiskers on.
So that one was cool. But I had that, and then I had Fishman, and then I had.
I always like those colors too, man. The Fishman colors.
I always loved the whole idea of like fucking hiding your identity, being a superhero with a mask.
Of course.
So to me, my first El Santo wasn't El Santo; it was El Hijo del Santo.
Mm-hmm.
He was the first luchador that I saw. I guess like Santo related. It wasn't the actual one. My dad has a picture with El Hijo del Santo. That's why I'm telling you too that he wasn't tall. Okay. My dad is like way taller, and you're way taller than my dad.
Recently?
Huh?
Didn't the Hijo del Santo come recently?
I don't know if it was. It had
like
to.
2 or 3 years ago.
It had to have been the Hijo del Hijo del Santo.
Del Hijo del Santo.
Because it's and then they sometimes it's not their actual children. Sometimes they just pass the mask.
It's a franchise.
So yeah, they pass their mask
like Fight Club.
to whoever they're like. To whoever their student is or whatever, and they'll be like, here you go.
Oh, that's some straight master Bushido stuff.
I fucking love that shit.
I love it.
And you know where lucha libre comes from too. Like it's not. I mean, Mexicans did the whole mask thing and all that stuff, but El Santo went to fucking wrestle in Japan. So, so that's
one of the first big ones.
That's where he started his kind of his career, and that's where he learned a bunch of the moves and. Japanese wrestling, which to the day is like
strong style.
It's huge. Yeah,
everybody knows que el putazo del Santo equals to 1 megaton bomb.
I love all the
I
love all the acrobatics that like they now do because they're fucking crazy. But I also love a good strong fucking luchador or wrestler that just picks up people and fucking throws them.
Absolutely.
I love that. I also love though when like you see this like really buff strong luchador or something, and they're doing acrobatics too.
A real barrel-chested stud.
But like they'll do like acrobatics too, and you're like, holy shit, the hell is happening?
Well, I think that was the amazing thing about Santo is that back in those days, or at least this is what I know of his origins, right? Is that the original Santo persona was meant to be an anti-villain and or a reverse bad guy, where everything he did was technically he would always lie, cheat, and steal. We all know where that's from. The original Santo was meant to be a villain. He would come out and the only reason he dressed like the Santo is porque era pecador.
Well,
that's what they say in the beginning. Whereas that persona, he was loved so much by people that it changed over time,
Well,
and over.
getting into the movies, just like because
this is about the movies, baby. We love the Santo, but this is about the movies.
It pertains to the origin of El Santo, and basically the actual origin of El Santo is in that movie El Santo contra el hacha satánica.
Okay.
So basically, el hacha satánica is fucking Satan, basically, or like somebody that Satan sent to kill El Santo, because El Santo is meant to be the savior of all people. So, I mean, I know it's religious, but El Santo is supposed to be like the fucking archangel or whatever, like that came to save the world. Yeah, that's why it's El Santo, and that's why it's silver and shiny, because the light is supposed to shine off his mask, and he's like this, like
like Gandalf, baby.
Yeah, he's
this, coming through Helm's Deep 300.
So at the beginning of that movie, you see that the first Santo is dead and is in the grave, in his I guess in his coffin, and they're like what's it called? Well, there's like a bunch of monks, and they're like singing and shit, like doing all this, and they're like kind of like not burying him, but like putting the fucking top of the coffin. I guess I don't know what it's called.
Válgame.
But then El Hacha Satanica comes out, like he just appears out of nowhere, and he's like, I'm always gonna fucking like kill you throughout time. So then it moves on into the future, and that's where you see that El Santo is like having a wrestling match, which is like almost a full wrestling match in the movie. It's like a fucking 15-minute wrestling match. But all of a sudden, out of nowhere, El Hacha Satanica comes out, and he has an actual axe, and he's trying to kill El Santo in the ring, and everybody's all freaking out. At the beginning, everybody thinks that it's like, part of the show or whatever. But then it turns into like, well, he's actually trying to kill El Santo.
Does he come back as a ghost?
No, like
El Hacha. Oh, here it is.
No, El Hacha
Diabólica 64. Okay, I see it now.
Well, the Hacha is like, I don't know what he is exactly, but he can travel through time and shit.
Yo, he was fighting heads real hard in the beginning.
And El Santo is like trying to figure out how to kill him. So El Santo goes through time too to try to like find out how to kill this guy.
Yeah.
But it's like super simple. Basically, the whole movie is like him trying to find out how to kill El Hacha, and El Hacha just chasing El Santo around trying to kill him. And there's this very cool fucking fight at the end. Like, that's creepy, dude. It's kind of creepy that because El Santo's like trying to look for El Hacha to kill him, and El Hacha just keeps coming out like a fucking ghost out of like weird places and shit and fight him.
So but this is the one in 60. I'm looking up the straight timeline right here.
If you want to watch any of these movies, they're all on YouTube, dude, for free. For sure. So watch them on YouTube. I think they're kind of an acquired taste, but these movies, dude, were made next to no fucking budget, and they were like fucking. A lot of them were like guerrilla style, like let's fucking make a movie.
Okay. Let me say this, because I always love to go to the Cinema Fantastica presented by the El Paso del Norte Foundation. So what these guys are doing, and what they're doing with people deep down in Mexico, is that the actual granddaughter of what is his name? Calderon. His name is, where is it right here? It was the Calderon brothers and Garcia Vesme, right? Mm-hmm. So it was these two people, and they were trying to cash in, make money. So I think it's Calderon, one of the brothers, got banned in Mexico from making films. And they'll tell you this every time you go to one of these presentations. The El Paso del Norte Foundation and Cine Fantastica and Permanencia Voluntaria Film Fund.
Well,
what they're trying to do is archive and restore old Mexican films, because obviously back in those days, Mexico actually set up one of the first franchisings of movie theaters. They brought stuff over to America. You saw the beginning of like worldwide distribution from these little films. One of the brothers and the other guy were banned from Mexico because of philanderous ways, right? So they actually had to go film the first Santo movie in Cuba, in Havana, Cuba, like 2 months before the revolution happened. And they even tell you the story every time you go, because, you know, this is why films are not preserved. This is why the first Santo movie is so cut up.
Well, they did it with no script. I saw the documentary where they're talking about like how they had no script. They basically had El Santo.
Yeah.
And like a bunch of actors,
El Incognito is what they called him before.
And they were like, well, let's do a movie. And out of nowhere, they were like, well, whatever, until they got pretty much kicked out.
So the first two Santo films, official ones, is El Santo contra el Cerebro del Mal y El Santo contra los Hombres Infernales. Now, both of them are like half.
They're both unfinished.
They're unfinished. They're like 45 minutes, and they both use like 30 minutes of each film in each other. So you'll have one part of the other movie and the other part of the other movie, and both use the same.
They did both movies separately. They never finished one or the other.
They never finished them. So they have to stick them in a coffin and send them back to Mexico.
So what they did for this, the one you saw, I guess, because you got to go see it, was they edited together both movies to make a whole movie.
Oh no! Well, this is the actual daughter of the lady, and like I said, she's trying to preserve what the man did, because this is the first time that somebody ever actually made money off of one of these weird syndicated things. And you know, El Santo was the beginning of these raw folk heroes, and you know, they even say in Japan people started copying the Santo formula. So they did these first two films, escaping Castro, trying to do all these things, and because of these movies that took like 3 or 4 years, because they had messed up films. Now from that we go forward to El Cerebro Diabólico, which is actually one of the better Santo films, and Mujeres Vampiro.
Well, Mujeres Vampiro said that it's the one that used the most budget.
I think so.
So it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
For you know, for the time and for Mexican cinema. But according to a lot of lists that I've seen, El Hacha Satánica is the best one.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. The one that got me into Santo, because my family is from Guanajuato, is
Las Momias.
Santo contra las Momias de Guanajuato. Now,
well, those are the ones that like I think those were like more aimed for kids. I would say, just because you know, of the ridiculousness or like trying to cash in into.
Well, you had an established character. I think
that one's a good one.
Guanajuato came out in 74, 76.
But dude, how many of our Mexican folk heroes fought the Momias de Guanajuato? Because I want to think it was like Viruta and Capulina. And fucking what were the other ones?
I don't know if y'all know this, but if you go to Mexico, littered with mummies everywhere, dog. You just gotta watch out there.
Viruta y Capulina contra las momias. El Santo. I was thinking of another one. It'd probably be like Tintan.
Probably Tintan. Maybe Penguin.
Yeah.
Tintan.
Oh.
It was the original Avengers,
but
Mexican versus the momias.
And then how many people too fought like El Hombre Lobo and Dracula?
I know El Santo did. So okay, this is where we go into El Santo, right? The beginning of Santo, he's a secret agent. In the beginning of Santo, he's fighting revolutionaries.
Well, they try to do
stop things.
Which one is that one? The one where he's a secret agent is like a James Bond film.
Oh, every single one, baby. I mean, El Santo was the original Dick Tracy. He had a phone in his car, homie.
And then he
had a video in his car, and you're just like,
his voice was so shitty that somebody else dubbed. Because El Santo didn't have a good voice.
El Santo was not.
He wasn't an actor.
Yeah. He was no CM Punk.
No.
He had no bedside manner.
He wasn't an actor, so like they had to dub for a lot. I don't know if for all of them, but for a lot of his films, he's dubbed.
Yeah.
And I mean,
todas mis energías, siento que mi máscara me da fuerza y fortaleza. Vamos a examinarla, Santo.
And I mean, a lot of actors do dub themselves. I mean, we could go to today, Tom Hardy doing Bane, you know, like overdubbed, whatever, like things like that. Which I think the microphone would be kind of hard picking up your voice from unless you have it like right in front of you.
Are you chopping the hand? Am I talking to you?
No, I'm saying that like with a mask on.
Yo, it was difficult to.
Your voice doesn't project sideways; it projects to the front. So if they're like, even if they have a boom mic, I don't think it's the same, you know.
This is where somebody comes in and drops
with the fucking like Black Dynamite or something. But
well, okay. We always get on the riff. Now, just trying to get this.
Well, we're getting this.
We're on the riffing, baby.
Look, I'm gonna be a gnome now.
Yo, that was a good movie, dog. No. So the thing with Santo,
no mames.
He always was either a secret agent, badass guy.
Well, he's a superhero.
Or he was sent from above to cast this world out of all of these werewolves, vampires, Wolfman. I mean, one of the best ones is El Santo contra los Monstruos.
It's all the
it's all the monsters,
all the Universal monsters.
And I mean, you literally see, it's all a ripoff of all the Universal monsters. And you see people walking like on a beach, and they're just filming in front of a aquarium. And then, like, you see the camera in front, and the person's just walking in the back of an aquarium like this, and the water's splashing. You're like, yo, I know that's an aquarium, but I'll give it to you because, you know, you're like 10 years old, and it's 3 in the morning on Saturday.
Look, I'm gonna look for. I made a movie with my friends when I was in high school.
Okay.
And I think that's where I kind of learned how to like. But because back in the day you used to edit on the camera.
Origin stories.
Back in the day, you used to edit on the camera, not on the fucking computer.
No, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
So if you fucked up a shot, you were rewind, stop it, and then like re-record.
Yeah.
So we did this fucking. It was like a gangster, like one of those cocaine money, fucking Matrix movie. It was everything we like action, drugs, whatever. And our
one night in Juarez with the gang.
Our baggie of cocaine was a fucking baby powder. It was baby, and we did like when we sniffed it, we did a trick. We went like, and then we just like fucking with our fingers just like go like that so that it looked like we fucking like. And we were like, oh fuck! But I used to do all these fucking tricks that I learned just from watching movies, like. Oh, we're gonna make it seem like he jumped like a big fucking like a big leap or whatever.
And then somebody goes like,
well, no, you would just put the camera down and then you just jump over the camera and it looks like holy shit, this dude's like reaching. You would do like all these kinds of tricks, like and
tricks.
So I'm thinking that back in the day too, these people they didn't really have a budget for like special effects.
If you do watch, so we have these two things with El Santo where it's like. Obviously, he's the secret agent. Obviously, he's a guardian angel. But when you get to the real film, these dudes are like hauling ass down the freeway in a real car.
And they have to do like those shits in one shot because
yeah. You have no chance. You only have that one car.
So what you see, like even with the fighting scenes and all that shit, unless they're in a studio, but like in the versus the vampire girls or whatever so unless you see that shit. That fights probably they did it once.
Yeah,
and that was it. So they probably rehearsed it before and then do it once.
So this is the thing with Santo too. He was a genius. He was a business genius. He had a lot of ruthless people around him. He was trying to make money, make it good, at the same time be a hero.
He was a Hulk Hogan of its time.
So he would sell his matches. He would sell you the match and let you show this match. And he was like, okay, you're gonna pay me X amount so you can record this match. I mean, you're talking about people do that now with wrestling, right? How many times do they pay jobbers to sell a match? How many times do we? Do you have a legend lose to an up and coming guy?
10 points if you remember the Hulk Hogan movie.
Which one?
With Christopher Lloyd.
The Mr. Nanny?
No, dude.
With Christopher Lloyd. Nose Holds Bards?
Is it Chris? Yeah, it's Christopher Lloyd.
Is Zeus in it?
No.
Tiny Debo.
The one where he's a fucking badass.
He's a wrestler. They fight on top of a club?
No. He's not a wrestler. He's a fucking like Terminator, almost kind of thing. Suburban Commando, dude.
Okay, yeah, okay. Right. That's the one with Undertaker.
It was Christopher Lloyd, though, right?
Was it Christopher Lloyd?
Yeah, the fucking nerdy guy with the glasses and shit.
You might be right, actually.
I
remember the Undertaker.
But you see, wrestlers did that shit too.
Mm-hmm.
El Santo started this whole trend of wrestlers being superheroes and shit.
This is before they said that it's sport entertainment. Because back in those days, El Santo gave you a putazo and you're not walking away. You're going straight down. Because people have a lot of stories about El Santo being a calm, very mellow guy who randomly went into a bar and would start some crazy shit and drop people left and right.
That's who Ramses is in Nacho Libre. It's basically El Santo. They just changed his fucking mask to gold.
But isn't that Mil Muertes?
And called him Ramses.
Yeah. So
I mean, it could be him, yeah, but
Ramses don't sing
but it's a references to El Santo, to the
absolutely whole... the golden. You know, they couldn't use that licensing. You know, El Santo is now he's a national treasure, and he should be. 53 films, hundreds of movies. You're talking about.
He only showed his fucking face once, and it was before he died.
Yeah, right before he died, huh? Like a week before. Even his wife said
he was an ugly ass motherfucker. Oh, and in a lot of these movies, he has a girlfriend where he shows his face, and if he shows his face, this is a. You know how in like now it's like, oh, there's a black guy, he's gonna die.
If he shows his face to
someone, she's gonna die.
Damn, baby,
she's gonna die. That was a thing. Basically, just kind of saying like, don't fucking ask him to show you his face. So if he's gonna fuck you, you better fucking kiss him.
Enséñame la cara.
If you're gonna and he would do it like, okay, I'm gonna show you.
You got this much, baby. You got this much.
But you know. I don't even know how the fuck he could eat. I can't eat with this one, and this one's stretchy. But you know, dude, that if it was for real and he showed his face to like, because in the set it was probably not him taking off his mask.
Yeah.
You know? But if he showed the fucking face, you know that they would be like, you know what, I'm out, bro.
Yeah, it's over.
Because when I saw his face, like, I was like, dude, he just looks like.
A señor.
A fucking Mexican.
He's a fucking señor.
He just looks like a traditional DF Mexican.
Señor, por favor.
Yeah, like everybody thought he was gonna be like this. Like Brad Pitt, some shit. Nah, bro.
Now when you receive 50 years of falls and hits and chairs, like, you know, even me, I'm not a beautiful man, but I know how Santo is because my head has a bunch of knots in it. I got all these scars on my face and my hands. I can't imagine a man who's actually fighting dudes day in and day out every day. So we love Santo. You know, it's one of those things where the legend precedes the man. You know, it was a week before he passed away that he knew he was going to show his face to people.
Well, he showed it on a TV show. You could like look at it on YouTube.
I'll
put the little, I guess, a clip right now, just so that
spoiler alert,
just so that you see his face.
Santo looks like.
I mean, it doesn't matter. I think that at the end of the day, he could take off his mask and go do whatever the fuck he wanted, you know, and then.
26 de enero de 84 es una fecha histórica, una fecha que termina con un mito de varias décadas. Rodolfo Guzmán, 66 años de edad, él solo la levantó en el programa Contrapunto con el tema de la lucha. Circo, maroma, teatro o deporte.
Because it wasn't like today, like where, you know, like wrestlers and shit now, they're all tatted up and shit. So like if you see Rey Mysterio, dude, for example, if you see one of his tattoos, like, oh, that's fucking Rey Mysterio, you know, like, you can fucking kind of point him out. But El Santo could, like, basically just fucking dress like...
Yeah, he could blend into society.
Yeah, he could just go and
this is a big thing with them, is that it was important for them not to take off the mask. And, you know, this is an older style generation of people who appreciated tradition. People who continued it on. People who continue it now, where people gain and lose their mascara every other month now. And
there's a lot of really good references in pop culture now, in Mexican and in American pop culture, and even I would say like UK and shit. There's this fucking culture that, thanks to El Santo, you know, thanks to him, we have all this lucha libre. Like we reviewed, for example, that Guacamole game, which is like a lucha.
Yeah.
There's I put it somewhere around there, but let me just get it really fast. It's right here.
How dare you? How dare you? Don't leave me here by myself.
It's right here, but
boom. Lucha libre.
We did have a AAA Xbox 360, PlayStation 3 Lucha Libre game, AAA. And it has La Parca. Look, actually, La Parca was featured a lot. I don't know who the one in the front is. Oh, I think it's... what's his name? Is it Shocker? I think it's Shocker.
Shocker.
But it's a pretty good, you know, game that they made for basically just for Mexican people, because the commentators are in Spanish, and they're the actual commentators from the AAA. And El Tirantes El Tirantes and fucking what's it, Tropicazas. Which, if you don't know, they're the referees. So El Tirantes is the rudo.
Yeah.
He's the heel.
Yeah.
referee.
He always screws over the good guys.
And Tropicazas, he's the good guy.
He's the one with the long ponytail, right?
Which is, I think that was a cool concept that they don't do a lot here. What they do a lot here is like, oh, Triple H is gonna be the referee, and then he'll be the heel. But the actual referees that had a name, El Tirantes was famous, dude. And
who's a famous referee? Earl Hebner. Who else? Name another famous referee besides
the guy that fucked Paige. I don't know. I really don't fucking know. Like Mexicans did.
We take everything to the next level, baby. We're gonna wear a mask our whole lives, baby.
Dude, and I'll review this shit because we have an actual Xbox right here in the arcade. But maybe we can play it together.
I'm fucking down. We're gonna play that right now, baby.
But
we're talking about Santo right now. 53 films. Now I'm gonna name some of these off.
He probably did like 10 of them in like a year.
Well, I mean, look, 61, 61, 61, 62, 62. He's averaging 3 to 4 films a year on top of touring, on top of probably having multiple children, on top of being a saint. But okay, let's go this. I'm just naming them up. La Atacan las Brujas. La Hacha Diabólica.
Which I don't know why it says La Hacha Diabólica, because I think it was La Hacha Satánica. Well, at least on YouTube it's there.
67, Santo's first film, 66. I recommend that.
That one is a James Bond.
That's the James Bond one. Mm-hmm. El Tesoro de Drácula. The Treasure of Dracula. Santo contra Capulina.
Oh shit, dude! I used to love Capulina.
So we have these weird things.
How did they fight?
He's one of the first people to start bringing other people in, setting up franchises. I know me and Mascaras had franchises.
When I was a kid,
I know Blue Demon had a franchise.
When I was a kid, before like pretending that we were Santo and Blue Demon,
you had to fight to whoever was Santo.
Me and my cousin, we were Viruta and Capulina. yeah. Because I love those fucking movies. They're the fucking, what's it called? Like the fat guy and the fucking the skinny and fat guy. What are they called? Goddamn.
Laurel and Hardy.
They have a name, yeah.
So then we got El Santo contra Blue Demon in Atlantis. Now that
one's a classic.
Now I'm gonna sit here and talk about this one for a second.
Look at it here. There he is, dude.
That's when he beats the actual La Momia that comes back to life. He always has grudge matches against him because he fought for the side of good. Now, Blue Demon contra Atlantis was so strange because it was made properly. And you're sitting here watching dudes talk about Atlantis and all this, and then you watch things like Godzilla vs. Megalon, which are also people from Atlantis.
Shut up his bulge right there.
Look at that man. Fighting to nobody. Ain't nobody there. Everybody's cheering. Look, he died. He killed that man right there. He killed La Momia right there in front of everybody. Look, you can't even see
and they're cheering him.
And yeah.
Well, they can see him over here.
So you have, Santo in Atlantis. That's a classic. Santo en el Mundo de los Muertos. Santo was basically Coco. In that one. And now I haven't seen all 53.
Not Coco. Coco's the grandma, dude.
Coco, whatever.
You meant Miguel.
Whatever. But what's the name of the
guy
who sings?
Huh?
He's the guy who sings, right?
Who is the guy who sings?
El Santo is Isn't he the gatekeeper? Shout out Santo for being Cerberus from the underworld.
Well, is there a gatekeeper on the other one? It's just a fucking it's like customs. No, but I mean in Coco, there's no gatekeeper.
Whatever. So, La Momia de Guanajuato 70, The Mystery of the Black Pearl. You're talking about Santo was doing pirate shit 40 years ago.
He was Jack Sparrow before Jack Sparrow was Jack Sparrow.
1970, El Santo contra Dracula y Wolfman. Come on, bro. This is some of the most legendary stuff. She-Wolves. El Anónimo Mortal.
Which all of this shit sounds like super B movie, like it is.
Contra Doctor Muerte. Doctor Muerte is another great one too. Like I said, I haven't seen all 53. I really wish I could. We should try to set up like a 53 movie marathon and kill ourselves.
I have a couple of the DVDs, but the thing is that like now they're almost all of them on YouTube, so I'm like I don't even need to put the DVDs.
One of his last films was called Santo contra el Puño de la Muerte,
and he died. After that?
No, he did one after.
The Puño won.
No, the last one he did was El Santo contra la Furia los Karatecas. And I think I do remember that.
And I think they won. Because he died.
Yeah. But anyways, you talk about a legend that went all the way from serious. I'm gonna stop the world because he got into Cold War antics. You know, he was talking about Cuba, infiltrating Cuba. He was talking about geopolitical stuff in South America, and then he would fight los violadores y los lepardos, or what was it? The lepers, where he was fighting a sex cult. You know, El Santo was tackling everything.
Well, yeah, because I'm telling you, he's supposed to represent Christianism, like, or Catholic. I don't know, Mexican religion. You know, like he's supposed to be the savior.
But that's funny because, like I said, the Santo in the beginning was meant to be a heel.
Well, we haven't said what El Santo even means. It's the saint.
The saint.
Yeah, like that's literally, you know, everybody else.
You're not Mexican. You don't realize how big Santeria is, and even not.
Because come on, dude, Blue Demon. You're saying it wrong, dude.
Demonio.
It's Blue Demon.
El demonio.
Because it would be Blue Demonio.
Yeah.
But he was using it like in English.
And when we say devil in Spanish, no decimos diablo.
El demonio.
Necessarily, we say demonio as an overall representation of the devil. Porque you say the diablo, it's whatever. Oh, he's a trickster. But you say es un demonio. That means that man is a fucking menace to society.
Well, not for the Tasmanian devil. He's a demonio of Tasmania. So.
They name him El Demonio Tasmania? Yo
Yes.
pensé que era el mascota de Tasmania.
No, the demonio.
Really?
Tasmania. Yeah, dude. Because me and my cousin were talking about the tazos, the pogs.
Yeah.
And the first ones were Looney Tunes. So, like,
You mean the holographic ones?
No, those were the Tiny Tunes.
Those were Tiny Tunes.
The first tazos for us were the Looney Tunes. So they were like Bugs Bunny and Daffy and like all these. And then the Tiny Tunes were the holographic ones. Those came out later.
I used to go to Juarez. I remember I went to Juarez. I spent they would give me like $5 every time I got an A. So if I got straight A's, I got 35.
You got a bunch of papitas.
I went to Juarez and I hit up the mercado, right, where the santeria sells all the fucking hierbas and shit. So I went there and there was a man and he was selling 20 tazos for like $3 or $2 or whatever. I bought all those tazos. I came back to El Paso. I sold 4 tazos for $1, and this is like holographic Looney Tunes, holographic Saint Seiya, holographic the Dragon Ball ones, and I that's how I bought my Super Nintendo.
Dude, you're a cheater, bro.
No, dude, I'm providing
I'm a businessman.
I'm providing a service to people, baby.
You're like Vince McMahon of tazos.
No chance. Oh shit, they're gonna sue us now.
Yeah, I know. We can't. Remember, we can't mention
2 words. I did 2 words.
We can mention those 3 letters. We're gonna get
yeah.
demonetized and fucking blocked and shit. It's over. But anyways,
put my mask on that way. They don't put any time.
So yeah, I guess the it's a parka. They're gonna sue la parka, the parquita. But they're gonna well, if you know, I collect some lucha libre masks. I don't have any space here, and I don't want.
No, you got some. Look, he's got some over there.
I got a skeleton over there, and then
this man has a very enviable luchador collection.
This one is actually from Mexico City.
Don't let him be humble with you.
My dad brought me this from Mexico City.
He will flex on your ass.
I've gone to Mexico City, but I mean, this is the ones that they do, you know, outside. Because that, like, the Rayo de Jalisco was like fucking. Well, I got it on Black Friday, so I paid $30. Mm-hmm. But it's like fucking $50. That shit's good quality though.
That's a great quality one. He didn't even let me touch it.
I used to go to El Mercado in Juarez and buy the shitty ones that they have there. I mean, they're not shitty because, you know, there's an old man, you know, fucking sewing these. So they're not that shitty.
Yeah.
Just the materials that they use, I think it's what they have, you know. But
you're meant to wear those shits until you're supposed to be a little kid and throw Kool-Aid on there.
Remember the ones that they used to sell at the bridge, dude? The ones that had the cape? Yeah. Attached to them, so you just put the top and like it was almost octagon. Was like the
For Halloween one year, I went as Spider-Man, but I guess they bought my costume in Juarez because
we had a cape attached to it.
I have a Spider-Man costume with the cape attached to it. I'll try to send you that picture so you can flash it.
Because I wanted to go to kind of like, I wish if I could go to like in Juarez, but they don't have a lot of Mexican places or puestos where they have masks anymore. There's like here and there, a little bit here and there. There's not a lot. Back in the day when you went to the mercado, there was fucking masks everywhere.
Well, you know, I do remember as a kid, and we were talking about this in a future episode that you probably won't see from us. But I used to go to Juarez. I tried to train with my friend and his.
Oh yeah, I was trying to make you into a luchador.
I'm down. Hey, any luchadores out there who's got a school, Sucio's looking to join you and bring my swagger up there, baby. I got like 19 personas ready to go. I am the lightning and you are the fucking shadows I cast on the ground. That's perfect. You know that shit.
I was like, you can't be the lightning because that's the lightning.
Well, ese es el relámpago, whatever.
It's el rayo de Jalisco.
I'm just Sucio, baby.
I'm telling you should come out all dirty and shit and just be Sucio.
I'm the trash man.
Don't touch me, man. And
Dude,
everybody's all like, no.
My homie just said, I'll do the nasty boy knobs on them.
They'll do that gimmick where like you're like super nasty to them, dude. Like you grab their hand and like fucking just do it through your ass.
My finishing move is a kiss.
Yeah, the kiss of death.
But yeah, you know, back in the day, we would go to Juarez a lot, go watch, you know, Lucha Libre, AAA, like all these big companies would come through, bringing all these people. I remember watching Los Payasos when it was all four of them. I remember watching the Ninja Turtles.
Coco Azul, Coco Amarillo, Coco Verde.
It was all of them. I remember watching Conan when Conan was still, before he fucked his back up all crazy.
Latin Lover.
Latin Lover, Cibernetico when he still had his mask. We used to have that a lot in Juarez.
Octagon, which he was the karate guy with a mask.
This is what I was going to say about El Paso Norte Foundation.
La Parca.
Fantástico. You have these people who are trying to preserve our history. Now, a lot of our history is tied in to our heroes. Now, go to the El Paso Norte Foundation, go to the film Permanencia, and donate, because those people are doing great stuff. Permanencia Voluntaria Film Fund. Go to these places, donate, because you have people who are really trying to conserve our history as Mexicans, as border people, because you have to remember, El Santo is one of the real reasons why we have franchise movie houses. These people had to come to the United States and set up their own movie theaters.
You know how they did the whole over here in the United States, they did the whole El Chavo and Chapulín Funko Pops, right? Like, I don't know if they made a bunch or whatever, but they're exclusively a Mexican thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people from the United States don't know.
Sold out everywhere.
But they don't know who the hell they are, you know, whatever. Yeah. There's references in pop culture to Chapulín, especially. And the most famous one is the Simpsons one, which is the Bumblebee. Man. And he's the Chapulín.
Yeah.
It's basically him.
Bumblebee Man is el Chapulín.
It's totally him. That's where they got it.
He has a fucking mallet.
So I've been waiting, dude, for Funko to get their fucking shit together and do some fucking luchadors, man.
You know, shout out Funko. We're going to tag you in this video. Why aren't you making luchador ones? I get that there's franchising rights and all this shit, but El Santo,
I think they would totally do it, dude.
Oh, they're gonna sell out.
A Santo, dude, a Blue Demon, a Rayo, a fucking...
Look at those putazos, man.
A fucking... especially all the masked ones are like, you know, come on, man. They should do it. There's some masked ones, I guess, from the WWE. There's Rey Mysterio. There's some. Because I try to get everything that has a mask on, dude. The only one I don't have is Nacho Libre with a mask, Chase, I guess. But I even have the Conan when he went to Mexico and there's like the chicken. I have that one, dude. I have anybody that has a mask, a luchador, I fucking buy it and get it to fucking
see, within our own way, within our nerdy way, we're trying to preserve our own culture too and represent our culture. Like I was saying earlier about the Film Permanencia, about Paso del Norte. You got these people who are coming through showing films for free.
There's Rey Mysterio before he was in WWE.
Wait, are you serious? It is, huh?
Yes, he has a big cross in his head.
I thought he had all the question marks.
The fuck?
You don't remember all the question marks?
No,
So, here in El Paso, and this is what we have downtown, and a lot of people don't want to talk about this, is downtown has a lot of historical films, movie houses. Talking about Tricky Falls, we're talking about La Colón, we're talking about the Plaza. You're talking about places that were having.
Well, Fellini's Cafe was.
Fellini's was a tiny little spot, and we still miss you. We still miss you from Cincinnati.
That was my uncle.
Was it really?
when
I always wanted to work there, bro.
When he died, they had to. Well, you know, I told you that my dad used to work at a video store. Those were my uncle's video stores.
What the fuck?
Once they closed those video stores, they opened Fellini's.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of those videos in Fellini's and like movies and shit were from that video store. So, I mean, he loved film. Pepe was his name.
Wasn't he Fellini's like third cousin or something?
No, I don't think so. My family last name, I'm not gonna say it here, but it's pretty. There's not a lot of.
I'll say it.
There's not a lot of
I don't know
people
how to pronounce
here.
it.
So basically, if anybody has that last name, we're related. So
Okay, I didn't know that.
So my family here, when they came from Spain, I guess, or whatever, they've all been artists, except for me. I'm not doing a shitty podcast.
Oh, this is shit then? No, I'm kidding.
It's my place.
This is within. And you know what? Don't ever say that about yourself again, because you do stuff and people talk about the things you do, and maybe nobody appreciates you all the time, but people.
Not yet. Maybe when I'm done.
Maybe you can, for sure.
Fucking sad.
We're be talking about you.
But Fellini would show. They probably showed all this stuff because in the end you could say, "Oh, these are shitty ass movies, whatever." But come on, man.
Their experiences, baby.
They brought, especially El Santo, brought lucha libre to the United
masses.
States, to the world, man. Like, and thanks to this mask, you know, like now it's a fucking cultural thing, you know, like
Absolutely.
we all know where he comes from. We all know that, like, oh, Mexican wrestling, you know, like El Santo, to the point where like even CM Punk,
Wore a mask.
he wore a mask for a little because he loves lucha libre.
Yeah.
He loves wrestling so much that he like appreciates every style. But I think that the more important styles in wrestling are Japanese wrestling and Mexican wrestling.
Absolutely.
Those are the two.
Those are the two that were cross-pollinating since the 50s.
The United States
Historic matches.
The United States took over, but if you think about it, the United States is a combination of those things. Because back in the day when we didn't have any WWE or whatever wrestlers, they went to wrestle to Japan.
They went to wrestle in Japan. They went to wrestle in Mexico. If you were good enough to survive the Southern Leagues, which were considered some of the most brutal and craziest original wrestling promotions, you'd get some money and you'd go to Mexico, and then you'd get the real money and you'd go to Japan, because Japan was always considered the top, right? It was
Japanese wrestling is
the South USA, and then it was Mexico, and then you graduated and you went to Japan, and then whenever you came back, that's when you had.
And still, like the wrestlers now, the ones that are in WWE,
Still
let's
do
say,
that.
well, Finn Balor from Japan.
Yeah.
I mean, he's Irish.
And JP.
He went to Japan. He became fucking famous. That's why WWE got him. Kenny Omega, dude, which WWE can't seem to fucking get him yet or anything. Kenny Omega's like the most hugest fucking wrestler right now.
He's everywhere.
He's from like fucking Japan. He had a match with a fucking 12-year-old Japanese little girl, dude. And that was fucking awesome.
And that was a sick show.
That was awesome. And
she dropped his ass pretty good too.
well, yeah, that was the whole point. Like, but that's cool. Like, that's showing that wrestling is an art. Where
Absolutely.
You know, because everybody's all like, "Oh, wrestling is fake." Yes, it is fake. But the hits and the fucking injuries, they're not fucking fake.
I feel like anybody who says that it's fake has never actually done groundwork and throw themselves on the mat 100 times. Now, anybody who's been in actual...
Dude, it's like saying that a race, like running a race, is fake.
It's, yeah.
It's basically because you're just running, like, oh, I can run. Oh, yeah, dude, but can you run? Can you run as fast as, you know, this guy?
Usain Bolt? No, you can't.
So it's fucking stupid. Which, talking about that really quick, because of the Usain Bolt right now, there's a documentary, it's like half an hour, dude, on Netflix, called Lorena, about, what's it called? The Chihuahuita, fucking, the natives. What are they called? The Tarahumara. She's a Tarahumara that wins every single fucking marathon that she goes in, and she races in her Tarahumara getup with sandals, dude.
What's that game that they have with the fucking ball?
With the fucking ball?
Have you seen that shit? Dude, so there's a game there, and I don't remember exactly the name of the game, but Tarahumara people, right? You have to kick a little ball. right? You get it on your foot and you kick it 100 meters. These people are going like 15, 20 miles a day, every day with this fucking
Well, they don't have
ball.
all this shit. Well, you watch that documentary.
Amazing.
It's called Lorena, dude.
No, I absolutely
And it's
do.
30 minutes long. It's
I
super
appreciate
fast.
I
And there is a video game about Chihuahuita culture and Tarahumara culture right now for Xbox, for
What is it
PS4.
called?
It's called Mulaka.
Okay.
And it's about a Tarahumara, and he has to fight all these demons and stuff that are Chihuahua. Like, they're like from Chihuahua, dude. It's fucking crazy.
I love regional stuff. I've always tried to get into the stuff, chicharrongueras and.
Well, look for
duendes.
Mulaka. It's on sale like a lot.
Okay.
Because it's an indie game.
It's an indie game.
But it looks pretty good. And I think if you want to learn, about the Chihuahuita fucking culture and shit without reading books and shit because you hate it, you can fucking play it as a video game, and you got it. But anyways,
dude,
I digress.
I say I was the only cousin that could read, legit read. So I would always have to tell people how to play video games.
And would you be the one that be like in Billy Madison? It's like,
maybe
today, Junior.
They're gonna come out with the Billy Madison Funkos, just giving you the heads up.
God damn it, Billy Madison before Happy Gilmore.
The Happy Gilmore's coming out too.
The only thing that I hate about the Happy Gilmore is like I love that movie, dude. But right now that I'm all into hockey and shit, I hate the Bruins. Like I hate them to the fucking core, dude. Like I have hatred, dude.
Where are the Bruins from? Boston?
Boston, dude.
Fuck Boston. No. You know what, dude?
Like I don't care about New England.
I went to fucking Boston.
Patriots and shit.
Every motherfucker wanted to get in a fight with me. Everybody.
But that's because they think they're fucking tough
Fuck
and shit,
Boston,
dude.
dude.
One of the bosses that I had in one of the places that he was a Bostonian.
Yeah.
He was a piece of shit.
Why you gotta act like that, Boston?
Not all Bostonians, I'm gonna say.
Shout out Philly.
I'm not gonna say all Bostonians are like that. No. But like right now, dude, the players are in the Boston team.
Yeah.
Dude, they're fucking douchebags, dude. And there's this one Marchand. He's from I think Marchand. He's like French or some shit. He has this huge nose. He looks super French. That dude's a piece of shit, Canadian. Dude. That dude is a piece of shit, dude. And I fucking hate that guy, dude. I don't know, but whatever. I digress again.
Night Trap Podcast.
If El Santo was here, he'd beat the shit out.
Yeah, for sure. El Santo contra los Bastonians. Órale, güey. Let's make a film. Let's make a film. El Santo contra los Bastonians.
All of
them. Dude, one of my favorite internet fight films is this dude in Boston, right? So it's these fucking whack ass thug fools, right? Walking down the street, stopping cars, and just breaking windows. Bam, bam, bam. So it's this dude on like a 4-story recording it. And these fucking douchebags are walking down the street. Oh, I'm fucking Boston. I'm from fucking Boston. I control the street. Smashing windows from cars. People in the cars trying to get past them. These fools are fucking them up, right? So this dude gets his window broken, takes off, gets off. He says, "What's up, fool? Let's go." So all 10 of those pussies from Boston, I don't care, we're gonna get demonetized. Fuck Boston. Those fools walk up to him and he's got a bat. Wham, wham, wham. He gets all straight up Yojimbo style. Boom, 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 boom. Dudes are like flying on top of the car, trying to punch the windows. He's like taking off. One of the best fight films I've ever seen.
So he's he's almost like in real life Mike Vallely from the Skater.
Mike Vallely taking on 14 security guards.
I think he said it's Vallely because I used to think it was Vallely, but I heard this like 4-hour podcast with him and he's like, it's Vallely, guys. Like, well, I'm sorry.
Is he still alive?
Dude, he's a fucking businessman, man.
Dude, I feel like that man should have been dead a long
time ago. He doesn't skate anymore. He's like straight edge. He doesn't drink. He doesn't do shit. He has a big beard.
Well, I feel like that's why people.
He looks good though. He looks good. He looks buff.
He's not all.
No, he's not all fucked up, dude. But he wouldn't take any shit from anybody, dude. Yeah. And they say he was like the sweetest guy. But if you pissed him off, you're dead, bro. But and he was a bouncer actually.
Yeah, he was a bouncer.
So there you go. He's like.
he comes from our ilk. He comes from
the same cloud.
Fraternity. Yeah. But anyways,
El Santo.
El Santo was the original Mandalorian.
He was the original
refused
bouncer
to take
of
off
the
his
world.
mask. Yeah, he was the bouncer. He got rid of all the demons, all the warlocks.
And I mean, there's a lot of these. It went through the transition of being in black and white to color, and a lot of his films got colored in later on, just because color was a big thing. A lot of before anything else, a lot of references in, like I had saying, in film and pop culture. If you want to see kind of like what El Santo movies were like now, I think you should watch Low Life. Low Life is a pretty good representation of kind of a, like, an El Santo type of life, luchador life.
El Santo contra la hija de Frankenstein. What?
So Low Life is a pretty good. Watch that. It's on Hulu. It's out there. Watch that movie. I did a review here with The Witch. That one.
I've been wanting to watch Matando Cabos.
Matando Cabos is a really good one too. That represents kind of what luchadors go through in Mexico. I think that one's I think it's pretty decent on how it portrays that kind of thing. Like being a luchador, not having your mask, people recognizing you. Trying to move on from that, whatever.
It doesn't help that you have a 4'1" duende with you, and it's pretty obvious that.
Well, it was like Tinieblas,
Yeah,
like,
you guys are fucking straight. I know it's a lucha.
It was like Tinieblas and Aluche, yeah, like they were the best, man. Come on.
See, and this is the weird.
There's even references to Aluche in Nacho Libre with the two,
absolutely,
the two little guys that are trying to bite him and shit. Yeah.
And this is the thing about Mexican wrestling, is that it was so inclusive. You had people of short.
It wasn't
stature.
called midget wrestling.
You were.
They were in with the actual wrestlers.
You were a luchador, bro. Even now with like people like, like you have Sonny Kiss in AEW, who does kind of like the super flamboyant gay thing. And
one of the biggest, Casandro, and he's the one that came out in the Conan Without Borders thing.
So Mexican wrestling was never about segmentation or getting rid of. It was everybody. You had La Brujas, and that's what's weird about the Santo films, is that it represents that too. It has everybody in that shit.
Have you seen the documentary? They're like little documentaries, but each episode is a different luchador, but they're like from indies to like famous ones.
I think I've seen one or two.
It's called like Lucha Libre. What is it called? It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
But it's a whole like season of like. Every episode is a different one, like, so, you go through one that, like, he's like a luchador in this shitty town, but everybody fucking loves him, and whatever. And then you go to the ones that are, like, huge, and the ones that play arenas and shit. If you want to see the life of a luchador like, that one represents it pretty cool, because even it goes through the ones that are, like that, the flamboyant one. I know that fucking over here, there'll probably be, like, the like, sissies and whatever.
Well, now...
They're not, dude. They're fucking strong.
We got Sonny Kiss now in AEW... And to me, that's the interesting thing, is that wrestling, lucha, has been all inclusive. And I know in Japan,
well, and it's entertaining as
all
shit,
inclusive. Dude. And this is all stuff that came from back in the day. These are all archetypes that we've all used.
And it went from like completely ridiculous to like really serious.
Total serious.
Because I would probably even say that back in the day, you would probably see a match with El Santo like fucking wrestling Adolf Hitler, dude, and like totally like beating him,
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's a commentary, and then it's like fuck Hitler.
It's social commentary. It's really like a regional thing. I know a lot of people say that they would go to Santo matches, and you would go to a Santo match because you followed that narrative. You followed that season of him versus La Pantera Negra, or you followed that thing where Blue Demon and him are fighting this month, or they're rivals this month.
And they would do that whole mask versus mask,
máscara contra máscara,
or contra cabellera. Like, so if you lose your mask.
Yeah, and you lost your cabellera, you couldn't wrestle.
Which like in Mexico, that shit was an event. There's no pay-per-view.
There wasn't. You had to go.
Or they would put it on TV like for free.
Like Coloseo.
So I saw a lot of wrestlers like lose their mask, and like you see their face. It was always the same reaction to me, which is like, oh, all right. Like, I don't know who the fuck it is.
I always remember every lucha mask I've ever went to, somebody got their nose broken.
And then with the cabellera was especially cool because they would sit him there, with like the
Those
machine or the
Like,
scissors.
How many
the
times
clippers.
has Vince McMahon lost his caballera?
That fucker.
It's one of those things where it's like we see all of these Mexican lucha influences.
That fucker needs to lose his job. That's what he did.
We got a problem with Chreep and WWE right now, but that's all.
No,
we didn't talk
I don't
about
think I have a problem with WWE. I have a problem with Vince McMahon's way of running shit. Because it seems that every time that he puts his hand in, it's shit. It's fucking shit. Maybe it worked in the 80s and like early 90s, dude, but now, dude, none of his shit works.
So they say it was the screw job.
Because
screw job was his.
Once you see shit that you're like, dude, that was a good fucking match. What the fuck? Who wrote that shit? And then they're like, oh, it was Triple H or
Jim Cornette and
or it was like fucking, you know, like somebody new or it was like fucking what's his name? It was like
the Backstreet
Regal.
When it was the Brooklyn Brawler, he's actually supposed to be a really great wrestling writer, and nobody even knows about.
But like that's what I'm saying. But that once you're like, what the fuck? Like, why did they do that shit? It's like, oh, Vince McMahon wanted that shit. It's like, what a fucking senile.
Vince McMahon has been fucking up, and I think the only reason we even tolerate him so far,
he was a genius,
is because. How many times did we see Stone Cold kick his ass?
But he's having that Kanye West thing, dude, where he was like a genius and now he's a piece of shit.
Well, that's all geniuses. You know, you take Beethoven, right? Mozart.
Well, that's why they fucking die early. And
you take Mozart. If you watch Amadeus, they talk about how everybody hated Mozart because he was such a douchebag.
But that's what I wonder. Like, let's say Kurt Cobain would have made it out of the fucking 90s. What would he be now?
We'd hate his ass.
Would he be a douche? You know, but that's what I'm saying.
He'd be burnt.
So it's like all of these people that died early, and you were like, fuck, like we hold them up in a pedestal. Maybe if they were alive now, we'd be like, the fuck.
No, you know, and let me say this.
Except for maybe the Rolling Stones.
On a very honest level, my mom passed away when I was 13, and I think one of the only real honest truths I had about that is that if my mom would have gotten older, we would have clashed heads so hard that, you know, you want to make people into something that they're not. But if you really take who they really are and you accept them as a human being, human beings are fallible. Obviously, they're gonna fuck.
Man, I don't want Vince McMahon to die. Like, I wouldn't want him to die or anything. But I think at this point he should be like, you know what?
How old is he? 70?
I think he's older than that.
He's older than 70?
I was like, maybe 72 or something.
What the fuck?
But I think it should come a point in his life where he's like, you know what? Triple H is making better decisions. This guy's making better decisions. You know, come on. Like, just be like, you know what?
The thing about
the fucking reins.
All power, and you get back into the Romanovs, you get back into Constantinople.
Yeah, we don't know how it's like because we don't have that kind of fucking power.
Nobody wants to give up power. Nobody ever wants to give up power.
Yeah, we don't know what it's like because we don't have that power.
And this is the thing with older people too. I take care of my grandmother right now, and I took care of my grandfather before he passed away, and I realized that I did a disservice to my grandfather by taking away his duties. You know, I didn't let him drive anymore. I didn't let him cut the grass. I didn't let him do these things, and I saw him slip away now, so that my grandmother, I mean, I feel bad that I did that to my grandma. I was trying to look out for him. You try to look out for somebody, you actually hurt them in the long run. And right now with my grandma, I send her on little missions. You know, I give her $20 and tell her, hey, I need batteries. Hey, I need this. Hey, I need...
the right batteries, please.
She can't find them. She can't... He gave me that boom box. What is it called?
Yeah, it's just a boombox.
But what is the name of it?
I don't know. It just has like space. It's just a fucking.
But what's the actual name of the brand?
No, the other one that was my bump box, but that's
the bump box.
That's a different one.
Box, and I can't find the double D batteries for him because Christmas time, so I don't even know what the fuck is going on.
You'll find them, or just Amazon, dude. Prime.
Anyways, so yeah, you know, I'm pretty sure Vince McMahon is just trying to keep his cognitive.
Well, he is, but I think that at this point, I think he would be making way more fucking money if he would have just left it to like Triple H. Because even Triple H is getting old now, dude.
He's already 52. Huh?
But he makes great decisions. He's the one that brought Finn Balor, Adam Cole, all these like really fucking good wrestlers that once they come up and Vince has like to put his hand in, he fucks them all up.
And
dude.
Adam Cole used to wear a mask too, huh?
I don't even remember.
I feel like he did. If I remember him correctly,
there's a lot of
ROH.
Because Prince Puma, Ricochet, he wore a mask all his fucking until he got over here. and Andrade Cien Almas. Which, when they were announcing Andrade Cien Almas that he was going to come out in NXT, I thought he was going to come out with a fucking mask.
And he did
because there's this guy that doesn't even speak English. And I was like, he was going to go, dude, fucking Mexican wrestler. And they were doing the whole, like, kind of El Santo thing. And, oh, shit. And then he comes out and he's just like, fucking dude, Alberto del Rio.
El Santo, look at that cape, homie. I was even going to talk about that cape right now. Look at how putazos in the middle of the street. Fighting off 1,000 zombies.
Look at that.
Where do you get that?
How fucking big his chest is, dude. And his panza. Hey, it's all the tamales and shit. Whatever.
Look at that. He's running, dog. They got him.
But they fucking he beats the shit out of him.
He beats the shit
out of him. Look, he always has a classic car, too, man.
El Santo was the king of swag. He had flamethrowers in his car. And then this is like, they say that he influenced James Bond movies. Because they were seeing this low budget, crazy films coming out in the when did James Bond come out? 60s,
remember right? the computers back in those days too, the ones that were
big
like.
I know in El Santo contra los de Atlantis, it's just like a whole.
It's a whole room, and like fucking buttons lighting up and shit.
It's such great moments in time. You capture a really great period of history that's before complete digitalization. When you had real wrestlers doing real moves, you had people trying to bust out stuff on a very shoestring budget. We're trying to make it for the kids. You know, these are people who consciously made films for children. These are people who consciously made films. They're like, oh, this is for children. This one's for adults. Like, they had all these franchises ready to go.
There it is. There it is.
You got them right there next to each other. Look at that. Look at this suplex. Oh, my God. He just did a devil driver on him.
I was like, I can't even take it. He's underneath Snake Mountain.
El Santo.
He's underneath Snake Mountain. I can't take him.
Yeah.
Snake Mountain is
stuck there, baby.
Snake Mountain is crushing him.
These men came out, and you talk about inspirations of Ric Flair. You talk about inspirations of, Golden Boy. You talk about all the old
dude,
Robbie Norton stuff. Look at those costumes.
Come on, Sin Cara, dude.
Those are the people that inspired generations of not just wrestlers, but rappers, hip hop. You're talking about people in movies, Rob Zombie, El Sexo Cristo, and all those people. You're talking about
El Super Bisto.
Multiple influences all across the board. Why? Because of this man, because of that man over there, fighting the zombies for you, doing all this stuff. Now, I know you said La Hacha.
I didn't. This is the popular one. No, I'm not saying personally.
What is the one movie that really sticks out in your brain that makes you say like?
Well, Las Momias de Guanajuato is like the first one you think about when they say El Santo movies.
That's is that what you say?
No, I think.
Or is that what people say?
No. I think that like every time that they tell me like, oh, El Santo movies, that's the first one that comes to mind. I think just because Las Momias de Guanajuato are like.
It's such a Mexican.
It's a Mexican thing. So you could say about El Hombre Lobo, like all that. All those things are kind of stolen from here, from the United States, or not even maybe not from the United States, from Europe and shit. Mm-hmm. But I really think that the best one, quality wise, and I think story wise and shit, is the one with the girl vampires. What's it called? You have to think.
Las Mujeres Vampiras.
That one, I think, is I
know there's 2 or 3 of those.
Well, the first one is like the really good one. It's in color.
It's pretty. The costumes are nice. The women are beautiful.
The story is pretty good. And I think that one, quality-wise, acting-wise, and everything, is the best one. Mm-hmm. If you're going to start watching Santo movies, don't start with that one. Maybe end with that one.
Because it has a real story. I remember a lot of them have real
But I would say for me, as a kid, I think Contra los Monstruos is probably the best one. Just because when you were a kid, you were like, holy shit, he's fighting Dracula and fucking Frankenstein, which they call Frankenstein there. Or they don't call him, I don't think they call him Frankenstein monsters. It's just Frankenstein.
They say Frankenstein?
Yeah, and the mummy, and so to me, that one's the best.
La hija de Frankenstein.
Technically wise, like as a movie, maybe that's like, oh shit, it's Contra las Mujeres Vampiro. But yeah, what about you?
You have the range, and like you said, you have the range of serious kind of weird ones, spy action ones, and then you have him being a holy vengeance. So if you want to get the best spy one with me, I think is the television killer, el asesino de la televisión, because he was actually trying to chase down an assassin that was killing people, and he kept outmaneuvering Santo, and I think that was a weird one that was really good, tit for tat, like cat and mouse game, almost like Al Pacino would make like a detective film, but it was actually El Santo, where he had to figure out, he's trying to figure it out. Now you have other ones where it's like El Santo contra la magia negra, El Santo contra los hombres, la hija de Frankenstein y el momiado de Guanajuato. But if you want to take the best kind of funny one, it's gonna be contra los monstruos. You got a Cyclops in for no reason. I mean, you have no reason at all, and it's almost like the way Lon Chaney was in that Funhouse movie. Remember, it was also called Dracula versus Frankenstein.
Well, it started getting all ridiculous, yeah.
Where it's like the evil scientist in El Santo contra los monstruos. I know he was a very respected actor, like a very senior actor in Mexican culture, because those people really prided themselves in being in plays, being in foreign films, going across, and then they'd come over here and they'd be in Santo movies, which, you know, with the Wolfman and all, and they brought a real character. You know, it wasn't just like a stupid mad scientist, because obviously we were influenced by American culture. We had, you know, Superman come down with the evil villains, and really that's who El Santo was. El Santo was a superhero. He was Superman. He is our Superman. He represents us as a Mexican people. Mad love for El Santo. Look at those fucking beautiful masks. Not even the mask, that guayabera he has on.
That, they always had that shit.
I was about to come in with a guayabera on, but I came in like Jared Little's ugly brother.
You're good.
Look at him!
So your favorite is Los Monstruos. So
I think El Monstruos really takes me back. I have a weird thing with El Santo contra las momias de Guanajuato, where my mom would say that she wrapping it up, baby.
So just because of that, I'm gonna put the link for the movie right here on the description. The description below. I'm gonna put it just for that one. You can find the other ones if you want, but because that one is our favorite.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go watch the other ones too. There's some DVDs here and there. I don't know if they're distributed.
I wish there was. If there's a collection or if there's things, please.
I think MGM has some of the rights to some of these. But
there's one American one, I think.
But we'll see, you know, what happens in the future. Maybe we can give him a little bit more support. Maybe something, you know, maybe a cartoon or some shit. You know, that'd be cool, dude. But
why El Santo isn't really part of the current lexicon, besides being an obvious legend.
Good anime with Lucha Libre, dude. Ultimate Muscle.
Ultimate Muscle.
Watch
that's another
shit.
Classic.
Watch that shit. And Mucha Lucha was a pretty good kids cartoon too. So there you go. With that said, though,
before you sign out, La Permanencia Voluntaria de film, support them, please. They're, you know, they restored La Llorona, considered the first Mexican horror film. They restored La Mujer Murciélago, considered one of the first female Mexican heroines, and the first Santo film. Please support them.
That shit is over, you see? They're cutting us off.
It's getting over now, baby. Okay, it's cutting us off, but support them. Support Paso Norte. Thank you guys for the Cinema Fantásticos. We appreciate you here in El Paso. Don't get rid of our culture. Save the Colon. Save Tricky Falls. Chreep, baby. Sign us out.
Remember to like, share, subscribe, all that shit. Click on that little bell to get your notifications. Our subscriptions have gone down a little bit, so we need to step up on that fucking social media, bro.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know.
But with that said, I don't know if this is before Christmas. I think this is gonna be before Christmas.
Okay. Right.
So, you know, we haven't got to that episode, but when we get to that one, you're gonna love the Christmas episode we have. We have some more reviews coming out.
Yeah.
Some Star Wars. We're gonna have Sucio around a little bit more. The Witch. A little bit more.
Yeah, we're trying to do a crossover with the Witch. So if you want,
because rest in peace, Doctor Porno. He died in El Horno.
Yeah. He was cooking up that cespa.
Nah, we'll have him here and there every now and then. Hopefully he can come by, you know, and help us out because I know some people
got big projects.
Some people have messaged me that basically when he disappears for a while, they're like, "Where is he?" And I'm like, "Well, he's you know,
he's doing his thing.
We need the money. We need the money, and hopefully maybe we hit 200 subscribers. I'll start the Patreon then. Okay. We'll do really low tiers like $1 so that we can all do it. But
subscribe, baby.
Subscribe.
Night Trap Podcast.
Fucking follow Sucio. I love Sucio on Instagram. Follow us at Night Trap Podcast and on Facebook. I'm gonna put the link on Facebook. I've been putting the link because I know that people go and then they see the Menace Hour. They haven't released the name, but just click the link and then click like and you'll see my face there, well, my mask face.
Su máscara.
With Bam Bam security, Bam Bam there. So with that said, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time, guys.
Stay sweet, don't change. Have a great summer.
Later, bitches.